So it is not because it was an accident that Ojwang was picked or chosen to be the sacrificial lamb. It was very well thought out. I've stopped thinking about Ruto as just someone who is doing everything wrong and it is happening because he's powerless or is not in a position to control everything. Ruto is in a position of control, power, and everything that is happening, it is well calculated and meant to serve a certain narrative. For starters, we are in June, when the budget is about to be read. We know what happened in June last year. And if your mind is not too far off forgetting, we had the cost of living riot that happened in 2023. People died. In 2024, people died. And when I say people, I mean the Gen Z died. All right? Now, Ruto has brought in Raila Odinga into the broad-based government. He has brought in his people and he's feeding them very well. And they are all saying it is time to eat. The last person who was to be brought in was Orengo after Anyang' Nyong'o issued a letter. Anyang' Nyong'o was at State House. Now, the president wanted to test whether the Luo Nyanza is in his pocket and whether he has actually domineered and dominated and completely made Raila to submit to him. In other words, he wanted to test whether he has subdued Raila Odinga and the Nyanza region. He wanted to know whether the Luos will rise up during the death of the chosen sacrificial lamb, and by so doing, he was testing waters to see if Luos are with him, and if even a Luo is killed, whether they will rise up. And he made it very clear that the person responsible for the death of Ojwang, it was going to be someone from his community. All right? And he wanted to know whether Kisumu will riot. Unfortunately, only one gentleman rioted in Kisumu, and that is I Am Chege, who is called James. He calls himself I Am Chege on X, is very vocal. He was in Kisumu demonstrating alone. The Kisumu we know, which has been at the forefront for generations in where matters governance and human rights is concerned, is silent up to now. Nakuru is responding always when one of them is taken or hurt. This is the second time they are rioting in their streets. We saw riots in Embu, and we have seen riots in Nairobi. But Kisumu, apparently it's silent. So was Albert Ojwang's choice an accident or random or well planned and well executed? I want to go with the latter. It was well executed. He was taken illegally from his family in a matter that is civil, not criminal. And his father was told, come to Nairobi and come back with the body. I think the father did not take much out of those discussions that those askaris said, but they were on a mission. They knew what they wanted to do. They had planned this to the smallest detail. And this is not about DIG, my people. This is not about an innocent young man being killed and dying in a police station. The government wanted you to know that they can take someone from Kisumu, bring him, or rather from Nyanza, and bring him to Nairobi without court authorization for intercounty exchange or transfer. And they kill him and put him in the cell. Register that he has come into the cell sick. And make sure that you know without a doubt that the police killed one of us. And see what the worst you can do. And remember, this is before the budget. So he was looking for all of us to rise up, go to the streets. Or he was expecting that we will not rise up, we will not go to the street, and will do nothing. And that will show him that he has indeed subdued Kenyans by the killings that have happened in the past and the abductions. So he wanted to test the theory, whether abductions of last year worked. And it scared the Gen Z to go to the streets. And indeed, he has proven that that was right. He also wanted to know how you will respond during the budget. And he now knows that the budget will be read, I think tomorrow. It will be passed, and Kenyans will do nothing. Because Ojwang was a sacrificial lamb to test the willingness and the commitment and the attitude and the mindset of Kenyans during these times. And remember, they did it knowing well that there's an anniversary coming of the deaths of Kenyans who died during the Gen Z demonstrations. So there is it. It wasn't an accident. Ojwang's death was well planned. Ojwang's death was to test the waters. Whether Nyanza will rise up against Ruto, or number two, whether the Gen Z spirit has been crushed. And number three, whether the budget reading will bring any chaos in this country. And all the theories are proved that indeed Ruto has Nyanza, Ruto has subdued the Gen Zs and the Kenyan spirit. They can't demonstrate, they can't do nothing. And it has shown, number three, that the budget will be read and there will be no uprising like in 2024. Now, he has the entire country on his grips. And that, my people, is my hypothesis. I hope I'm wrong.
Speaker, my first one is to C.S. Murkomen. Mr. Speaker, patriots in this country fought against detention without trial. And C.S. Murkomen, I assure you, they are going to fight against extrajudicial killings, especially within police custody.